everybody. Welcome to the Friends and Finances podcast from First South Financial. I'm Maria McClendon, and I'm joined today by my friend and colleague,
Teresa Griffith.
Today, we're going to be talking to you about 0% balance transfers on credit cards. Sometimes you can see a 0% offer like that and think, this might be too good to be true. Well, it's not too good to be true. And Teresa, who's an expert on saving money, on managing your credit, and so many other things, is going to tell us a little bit about when to take advantage of these kinds of offers and what to look out for.
Great. So if you've got balance or balances on one or multiple cards, you can take the total that you owe on those and consolidate them to one card that's got a zero balance or a 0% interest rate. And whether it's for 6 months, 12 months, whatever, taking off the interest for that period of time is significantly going to save you what you're paying back in interest, number one. Even if the card that you're looking at increases so that it goes up after, say, the promotional period, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is, overall, the interest rate is going to be less. When you average zeros in, everything is good, right? Yeah. Everything gets better.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about how credit cards work and how the interest on credit cards work. So every now and then, people will use credit cards to finance both small and large things. And not all credit cards are created equal, right?
That's absolutely true.
So one of the big differences between one type of credit card versus another type of credit card is the amount of interest that credit card charges. So what's the average credit card interest?
I'm not sure what the market interest rate is now. I would guess that it is probably in that 18 to 22% range.
I think the average is maybe in the 24% range. But but the thing is, there are some cards that are significantly higher than even that 24% average.
They're in the 30s, which is just, to me, just not productive for the borrower at all.
So going back to our earlier comment, right? Like every now and then people will put both small and large purchases on a credit card. And that's perfectly fine because Teresa's actually on another one of our podcasts where she talks about credit and building credit. And if you haven't seen that one, you should definitely check it out. And using a credit card actually is good, right? Because it helps you build your credit history.
Yes, it can be. Yes, very much so.
But if you're using your credit card for small purchases and not paying off that balance, and you are maybe unlucky to have one of these 30% interest credit cards, what does that do for you over time?
So the way credit cards work is as you carry over a balance, every additional purchase you make, say you're in day 35, so you made your first purchase at the beginning of the month, the beginning of the cycle, and then you get your statement, you haven't paid it yet, and you go over into that next month, you are going to be charged interest immediately after that first month. So that first month, you're kind of given that free period, so if you pay off every month, you're never charged interest. But if you go over into that next month and you haven't paid it back yet, then you will get charged a pretty high rate. Sometimes the amount to carry over is different than the initial rate.
Okay.
So you have to look, you could have multiple rates charged at the same time, just on different amounts. And you may not know which amounts charged what. So you always want to make sure that you've got one that's pretty consistent and that the overall balance that you owe and the amount of interest that you owe, once you take that over into that second month, just keeps growing and growing and growing.
So if you're, I'm a bargain shopper, I like sales, but if I go into a store and I decide to make a purchase because I'm getting something for 25% off, and I put it on a credit card, but then choose not to pay it off in that single month, then all of a sudden the sale that I took advantage of is I could actually end up paying way more than the 25% that I saved.
Yeah, especially if you're carrying a balance for a couple of years and you keep using it and not paying off the balance, you could end up paying double what that purse was, what the dress was, what that McDonald's was. And do you think that dress has improved? Do you think that it's gotten, that you're going to be able to sell it for more than you bought it for?
Certainly not. Certainly not.
Right.
So if we're in a situation where we've got a credit card, and it is one of those credit cards that has high interest, even if it's average and it has interest of 24%, or it's one of those that's well above average and has interest rate that's higher.
Right.
And we're in a spot where we decide we want to pay off that debt. That's a place where one of these 0% or low percentage balance transfer offers could be really advantageous.
Oh, significantly. So I've got an example here. So say you've got your credit card balance and you're only able to pay $100 on it on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
So you're what the credit card company tells you do, it may be $20, maybe $25, but you're paying $100 on it. Let's say that you have $5,000 owed on the card with 22% interest. And if you make no other purchases on that card, it's going to take you 11 years and 5 months to pay that card off.
Wow.
And over that time, you'll pay over about $8,700 in interest.
Wow.
$8,700 in interest on a $5,000 balance. So you've more than doubled everything that you've ever charged on that card. However, if you take the same card, transfer it over to 12 months at 0%, you still pay $100 a month. After 12 months of 0%, or after 12 months, you've paid that $100, so now you have $3,800, right? Well, that card may jump to, let's say, 18%. But if it jumps to 18%, it will now only take you 4 years and 9 months to pay that off. And provided, again, that you've not added any additional charges onto that card and your interest goes down to less than $1,900. So it can save you significantly by making those transfers. So that's a difference of like $6,800, not to mention the 7 years that you shave on that particular card. So if your existing interest rate is higher, you're going to save even more. If you're able to pay on it more, to pay more than the $100, you're going to save even more. So it can make a significant dent into your debt.
That's so true. I mean, if you are in a spot where you are ready to take control of your finances and really pay down your existing credit card debt, one of the best tools that you can use, especially if you're disciplined, is a 0% balance transfer offer.
Yes, exactly. Now, so you talk about being disciplined.
Yes.
All right. So I'm asked a lot of times about consolidating debt, and I will tell you the one adverse thing that can happen is that if you are not disciplined, that you can transfer all of the cards together, put them on one card for the 0%. Now, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 3 months, you see these cards over here and they have zero balance. If you're not disciplined, if you have not taken those cards and maybe put them in a bowl full of water and throw it in the freezer so that you don't have access to those immediately, or cut them up or done something, then you are at risk of running up those balances again. And now you've got the balance over here on the card, on the ones that you consolidated, and then you've got balances growing over here, and you may end up in even a worse place than you were before.
So it's critically important that if you decide to take advantage of one of these offers, that you make sure that you're not continuing to accrue new balances. That can be a detriment.
Yes.
But if it's But if you are truly committed and have discipline, what you want to do is you will transfer your existing high interest balance to a 0% promotional offer.
Yes.
And then make a plan to pay it off during the promotional period.
Now, when you do make those transfers, that card that you move the funds from is still active. Even though you have zero balance on it, it's still there. It's still going to show up on your credit report. If you don't use it, it could become dormant, and there may be dormant fees. So if you want to close out those, especially those store cards, think about like a place where you might buy lumber or might buy your toiletries and your furniture, those kind of stores. They have very, very high interest rates typically. So I would actually close those out. It doesn't matter how old that line of credit is. It's not worth it, typically.
Gotcha. So we're talking about First South and how we provide our members with experiences of banking with friends. And in that vein, we do have a special offer right now where we're offering 0% balance transfers for 12 months. Woohoo! And we talked a little bit earlier about how not all cards are created equal. We talked about average credit card interest rates are rough in the mid-20s, and some can be as high as 30%.
Yes, even 32.
Our credit card interest is capped at 18%.
Absolutely.
So we offer 0% for the first 12 months on your balance transfer. Even if you go beyond that 12-month promotional period, it's capped at 18%. So like Teresa shared in her example, over time that can save you thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yes, absolutely. It's still worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Teresa, can you walk us through really quickly what someone would want to do if they were interested in, one, learning more about this balance transfer promotion, or if they're ready to make the move and start saving some money on interest?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say go to our website, firstsouth.com, and right there on the homepage, there's a place for specials, and you can click on that and get more information. If you have any questions, you're welcome to call us, or you can fill out the application online, and we'll contact you. So it's very simple. We make it very easy.
Yeah.
You just have to, you might want to grab up your statements from the existing cards that you want to transfer those balances over, so that we can talk about what those numbers look like, so that we can make sure that we're getting you enough credit approved if we can. So we typically do the total amount plus about 5% that will help offset any additional interest that might accrue between the time that we're talking and the time that those other cards are actually paid off.
Perfect. So it's always a pleasure chatting with you.
It's been fun.
And it's always a pleasure chatting with all of you. Thank you for joining us for the Friends and Finances podcast. Make sure you check out Teresa's other episode on credit scores and credit reports. It's a good one. And we appreciate you for watching. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.